they don't want to. Certain people do, but for the most part, I think people just want to be entertained.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, life's already crazy. You don't have to think about anything. All right, so think about the 50-year mortgage here real quick. This was not originally my topic, but I just couldn't let it go. We talked about it last week. I hated it, still hate it. But old Chris Smith likes to put things in perspective. So everyone debating the 50-year mortgage, you're like, actually, are you ever going to pay them off? I guess is the crux of the whole story here. I'll read through a lot of this briefly then. So that's what got me thinking, okay, how many people actually pay off a 30-year mortgage? They usually refi or sell well within that 30 years. So maybe the 50-year mortgage is just a vehicle you're using to purchase a home. Does it make sense? I could argue absolutely not. It doesn't change it. We looked at it last week. How much of your payments change? Hardly. It's negligible. It's very little that it actually changes. But maybe that gets the deal done. Maybe you can get it purchased then.
Or if somebody's on the fence between renting and, a 50-year mortgage to buy a home, maybe they were like, hey,
it works now.
It works if we can, just be able to afford a home rather than have to rent or something like that.
Sure, and what he touches on here then too. So are you going to pay off a 30-year mortgage? You won't. The reality, average homeowner moves every 9 to 10 years. Most refinance 2 to 3 times before that. So almost nobody pays off a mortgage with a 360 payments and at 30 years. It's a financing tool, not a 30-year commitment or a 50-year commitment. So after 10 years, he gets into like basically what you're losing out in equity then. So you've paid down so on a 30-year mortgage, you pay down $52,000 in principal, and a 50-year mortgage, you only paid down 20% in principal. So you're not paying the $482,000 more in interest in a 50-year. That's what I was getting hung up on. You're paying so much more in interest. It's insane. Like, why would you possibly do that? But you're losing $32,000 in equity. So versus buying or not buying, does it make sense to then, to Brian's point, if the circumstances make sense, can you buy the house? Then